Famed for its luxury resorts on private tropical islands, the Maldives is a place where the well-heeled get away. From honeymooners to sun worshippers, the country has carved a niche in the high-end tourism market. But in recent years, it's been opening up to backpackers, visitors with less cash to spend, who want a different kind of holiday.
Well, I think the most important thing is that you get in touch with the locals. I've stayed here in Malé now for 3 nights or 4 days, and I already met quite some people and made some friends. So I think that's just the biggest win.
For decades, a deliberate policy kept wealthy holidaymakers separate from the local Muslim population. It was an attempt to protect the conservative Maldivian culture and the tourist, more liberal Western lifestyle. But 5 years ago, despite opposition from religious hardliners, the first democratically elected government introduced reforms, allowing Maldivians to open guest houses to foreigners.
If we are saying that tourists should be in a remote island and the locals should be separate in order to prevent the culture and belief, everything, I don't think it's going to work. Thing is that we see everything from TV, from traveling everywhere. So I think it's a lame excuse shown by the politicians and businessmen to control the economy.
Ibrahim opened his doors to guests 1 month ago. He charges just $30 for a double room, a fraction of the price charged at the cheapest island resorts. As locals take a share in the country's tourism industry, the government insists the established resort sector will not suffer.
These tourists who come and stay in Lagos, they do go to resorts in the evening to have an enjoyable and a resort meal and experience a resort as well in the night time. So they're not what you call taking tourists away from the resorts, but they are complementing, I would say, rather than taking the tourists from the resort side.
But travel around the nation's far-flung islands isn't cheap. With few public ferries, Chris expects to spend several $100s on transport alone. Tourists can now enjoy the freedom of backpacking here, but they'll need much more than a shoestring budget to get the most out of the Maldives.